I want to talk about the 6 things I do as a single divorced woman to create and steward wealth. Hello, lovelies, and welcome back to my channel where I am committed to voice, visibility, wisdom, and wealth, especially for women 40 and up. Now, if you are not 40 or a woman, you are still welcome to be here because the principles of artful aging are relevant and useful to anyone who wants to live an engaged, happy, productive life. I believe that the standard advice that we are given, especially as women, to hand over our money to the experts. Brief aside, this is a standard thing in our culture in general. And many times you'll hear me talking about all the ways that our lives can be disintermediated from the experts, where we can have autonomy and sovereignty over our own lives. And when it comes to wealth, there's no difference. When I recently went through a divorce, I found myself for the very first time in many years, 100% responsible for everything to do with my money. Previous to that, I'd been married for 20 years, and my husband at the time and I had different attitude and approach towards money. So while I had control of money in collaboration with him, I wasn't 100% sovereign in my choices around money. And if you're like me, and if you're like him, and truthfully, if you're like most people, you come to the story of money with your past experiences from your childhood. And so much of that means working through all of the family stories, historically, maybe even generational, that we grew up with. So in the case of my own marriage, as may be the case for you if you are or have been married, it's difficult to have sovereignty in a partnership. And it takes a lot of attention and a lot of work to make sure that you are on the same page. One of the benefits to divorce, although divorce is painful, and it's something to really work through and definitely not something I'm advocating. But one of the benefits to divorce is that after you've gone through the difficult part of working through the finances and separating them and possibly even mediating or going through an attorney-oriented process. But when you come through that on the other end, you get the beautiful opportunity to create and nurture your money world on your own, for better and for worse, with no one to blame in the end for your final decision-making process and for your choices, but yourself. When I realized that was the case, when I actually felt it in my bones, this experience of 100% responsibility, at first I was shaking in my boots. And then I saw the beautiful opportunity in front of me. And I quickly realized that I needed to do some shifting, that I needed to grow my education, my learning, my confidence, and my personal mastery around money. So I made a commitment to myself to master money as a foundation for my own future, but also as a stance to the universe, to our culture, as an act of going first, as a statement and a model for other women in similar situations to say, we can take control, we can be empowered, and we can be effective with our money. Even, by the way, if that has not been the case in the past. I want to share a brief overview of 6 things I now do in relationship to stewarding my wealth. Talk to other people. I made a point of reaching out to every friend and acquaintance I knew who I thought had money in order to find out what they did with theirs, in order to learn from their experience. And what I discovered is that not everyone is comfortable talking about it. So it can be very challenging as a person who is wanting to effectively steward wealth to find community and support and alliances. We have a taboo in our culture about talking money. The extra benefit in having made this choice to actively talk, blab, interview people about money is that I now have a community around me of people who can think out loud together, who can ask advice of each other, who can support each other and link arms to rise together in order to grow wealth. I pay for financial advice on a regular basis, $300 or $400 per hour, in order to get advice and insight, in order to bounce my thinking and my ideas off of someone who knows better, so that I can gather from and benefit from other people who have more experiences, insight. But in the end, it comes back to me. So I gather all of the information and I trust myself to shape and adapt and utilize and cherry pick the information that I have been given and the information that I have paid for, so that in the end, again, I am sovereign in relationship to my money. There is a bit of a narrative, even in the financial independence and wealth-oriented communities, that the smartest thing to do is to turn over your wealth to an expert. And usually those experts are in a brokerage firm who's taking a percentage of your wealth. Now, there is a time and a place for that. If you're older, or if you're so involved in other things that you're doing that you cannot afford the time to do your own research and to do your own learning in order to take full charge over your finances yourself, I would say a next best option can be a fee-based fiduciary, which is a financial advisor who will give you insight for a per hour basis. Many of these fee-based fiduciaries are also very versed in, and maybe even have a history or come from the brokerage world and the stock market world, in which case that's going to be their particular expertise. And if you find the right financial advisor, or use a series of or various financial advisors in order to get broader input into all aspects of finances, then I think you're going to be much better off. And that's what I choose to do. You're going to hear a theme in this around diversification as a hedge to error. I approach diversification of content, diversification of information. I try to draw from all of the different places. And again, trust myself as a person who's capable of taking information and processing it and making decisions and being willing to take responsibility for the decisions that I make. The third thing I do is I learn on my own. I listen to tons of podcasts and so many YouTube channels. Subscribe to my channel if getting more information around stewarding your own wealth is of interest to you, because I'll certainly be sharing some of the gems that I've taken from various channels, mentors, YouTube, books. I commit to investing my time and my money in my own learning. And in doing so, I empower myself and I trust myself even more. So the more information and knowledge that I am able to accumulate over time, the more I trust myself. And one of the beautiful things that's happened for me is I've come to realize that I actually have very good instincts when it comes to money. And I bet you do too. Like luck, the more education we invest in and integrate, the more we can trust ourselves, the better our instincts get. I commit to shifting and to working with my mindset. And by mindset, I'm talking about what I referred to a few minutes before, which is that we come with our stories and we come with our belief systems around money. And most of us have healing to do around money. In my case, I, on some level, believed that I wasn't capable of handling money, or more impactful, that I wasn't interested in money, that somehow money was dirty or shallow, and that there were so many more important things to focus on in this world, like family and relationships and children and all the things. as if they're mutually exclusive. And one of the things I had to do with my mindset was to reintegrate the truth that money and being empowered financially and an ability to have impact on some of the things that are most important in the world are mutually beneficial, that they can survive and in fact thrive together. One of the most impactful shifts I've made around mindset and money is to see my financial success as an active resistance against some of the structures that otherwise keep women impoverished and keep women disempowered. And again, just to be clear, when I talk about the patriarchy, I'm not talking about men. Patriarchy is a larger systemic structure and it impacts all of us. And I happen to believe that if we're able to refine some of the systemic aspects of patriarchy, we all will be better off. So one of the big impacts has been to up my why for wealth. I changed my attitude towards money and I expanded my vision and my reason for having wealth to include not just my own benefit, although that too, but my ability to have a greater impact on the larger world and to support the people and causes that I love. And that has made all the difference in the world. Because if you're like me and many women, we tend to prioritize other people's needs over our own wealth because we see it as power over. The fifth thing I've done is begun to plant seeds and to grow multiple streams of income. And I am a huge believer in the power of multiple streams of income. Currently, I have 8, and I will probably do another video outlining some of the ways that I'm growing multiple streams of income. I don't have a W-2 income, and in some ways that limits my ability to invest in more real estate because it's harder for me to get a loan. And I was the unpaid worker in a marriage for 20 years. So it has been a process for me to regrow my income potential over the course of the last number of years. And I'm only just beginning. So follow along, join in, link arms together with me in creating multiple streams of income in order to grow and nurture and build wealth for yourself and for the collective. One of my principles as I grow my multiple streams of income is to ensure that everything that I do be in alignment with my values and my purpose, with my skills and with my pleasure for impact, but also for sustainability, because I want to live a good life that can make a difference for other people while also nurturing my own pleasure and enjoyment of this one life we get to live. And then finally, and overarchingly, I diversify. I diversify across asset classes. I diversify across brokerages and managers, and I diversify across sources of information as widely as I possibly can and still stay sane and efficient in order to offset both my relative inexperience and also my fear and nervousness that I might make a mistake, that I could suffer from the inevitable consequences of a drop in the market in one area or another. This is the reason generally that diversification is suggested as a money strategy. But for me, there's an added benefit, and that is that if I know I'm well diversified, then I can feel more comfortable taking risks, knowing that if one thing goes sour, it's not going to really hurt me terribly. So I look at my asset allocation in order to be more comfortable, in order to take more risks, in order to sleep well at night. Those are the 6 things that I do to grow and steward wealth as a single divorced woman. Let me know if any of these speak to you, if there's anything new you've learned or something now you'll be thinking about. Let me know if there's something that you would share as an important piece of knowledge for any woman who is single and on the path to controlling her own finances for her own benefit and for the good of the larger society and for the collective. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. If we can link arms together, if I can help you to grow your voice, visibility, wisdom, and wealth in order to make a difference for the world, then that is my reason for being here. If that's you, if you want to link arms with me, then please make a comment, press that like button, subscribe to the channel, and engage with me because I'd love to hear from you. If you would like more information about building wealth, then watch this video. And if you'd like more information about speaking skills, which is one of the things I'm most passionate about, because I believe that if we want more friends, if we want to build wealth, if we want to make a difference, then we need to tell our stories and show up and speak up. So if you'd like more information on speaking skills, you can check the video here. Thank you so much for being here. I send you big love.